Hi, we're checking our connection again, trying to get our author on for the night. It is EricCheek. We're trying to see if with his phone he's able to join. So, hello, there's one of our awesome illustrators. I see Blackbird is out there. And while I'm waiting for Eric to join, I'll take just a moment to talk about the cover that Blackbird illustrated for us. If I put it back in the bag, it is a book called The Hanging Tree Has No Leaves. And it is very pertinent or very relevant to today just because of everything that's going on in our society and in our community. And the author is from Spartanburg. Her name is Pamela Ndanye, and she has written a ton of poetry. She's written a play, and they all, like I said, are very relevant to today's time. So again, the book is entitled, and I'm sorry, I'm doing too many things right now, but the book is entitled The Hanging Tree Has No Leaves. And if I don't show it to you tonight, I will show it to you, but she is going to be joining us really soon. So let's see if we can try this again and if I can get Mr. Cheek on the line. All right, I can invite him to my screen. So I see Hardy had joined us earlier and she has joined us again. Thank you for your support. I've seen you here a couple of weeks and I still hope we can work together on some different literary projects. So hope you're up and ready for that, and maybe we can connect again really, really soon. I see DJ Cheek. He's on the line and his book 12 Keys for Great Children. I hope that I look forward to hearing you in a few weeks, and I can't tell you right off the date as to when DJ Cheek will be with us, but Eric Cheek is with us now. So we will go ahead and get started. Hello, I see you're outside.
Hello, I am.
Yeah,
How are you?
sorry. I'm doing great. I'm so sorry about the technical difficulty. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for the patience of our audience as well. So if you want to just go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and then just tell us about the Right Path series, what you plan to do with that.
Hi. How you guys doing? My name is Eric Cheek. I'm an educator in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I've been working in some capacity in education for the last 10 years. A series that I wanted to start, it's about character education. Of course, understanding the importance of children being able to read, but also being able to create a theme in the book where we're talking about character ed, whether that's persevering, justice, integrity. Those are a few that I have been thinking about and been wanting to put together. So the whole series is going to be a character ed series, and I look forward to continuing writing them.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about your inspiration and where that came from, and then you can talk about your character, Honest Sincere. I
Mm-hmm.
think the first story here was somewhat biographical, and I may be wrong, but you can elaborate on that. And will the other stories be based on true stories that maybe happened to you?
Absolutely. Definitely that was about me and my grandmother. You'll see I gave the dedication to her because, she inspired that. But the books are definitely going to be about either students that I teach. I wrote one about my son. Um, and, I kind of changed the names in the characters, but just to like make it friendly because, again, the reason I picked the name Honest Sincere is just for the word play. I thought that, honest and sincere, they both mean the same thing. So being able to give kids the opportunity to see that and understand that word play and understand that words can mean the same things, teaching them homonyms, homophones, all of those things are very important. So yes,
Awesome.
in the future, I'm writing about a student of mine currently, a young lady. So hopefully that's gonna drop soon.
Awesome. Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it. Can you talk just for a minute or so about the process of publishing and what you learned? You worked with a live and up close and in person illustrator. And I can't say that I've had that experience. My illustrators have been far away. And so, because you worked with someone, close by, that was somewhat of a different experience. And I imagine you're working with her on your subsequent books and so forth. But I just have to put a plug in. I just think the illustrations are absolutely adorable. I saw the
Absolutely.
sketches before she colored them. They were amazing. But I love the innocence of the crayons that colored the pictures in. They're just so cute. And that's the only one I'm going to show, because you need to buy the book so that you can see all of the cuteness that's contained in here. So I'll let you answer the question now.
Absolutely. I work with the art teacher in my school, the Cleveland Academy of Leadership, Miss Kendra Snyder. She was easy and wonderful to work with. I went into her classroom one day and I said, "Hey, I wrote a book, and I had these sketches of these silhouettes of things, and I showed her what I was doing it and what my ideas were, and she just agreed. It was never anything to where she was like, no, I just don't have time to do that. So she agreed. By the end of that school day, she had those sketches done. She did them on her break, and it was amazing of when, because it really brought Sincere a face. And basically I told her it was about me. So when she drew Sincere, I guess she was imagining me as a kid and trying to find the best way to put me in the book as a kid. So Sincere actually is inspired. He's supposed to look like me as a kid. Yeah, but the artwork to me is beautiful. It makes it real, authentic. I love it because we have that computerized Sincere on the front cover, and then when you dig into the book, it's just a different feel when you start seeing that artwork. It's a beautiful thing to me. I've had kids really, really tell me that they love the artwork. One kid told me, "Hey, I give you a 9." Because the only reason I'm not giving you a 10 is because you didn't put the same artwork on the front.
Oh.
Yes, that's what he said. It's done by a computer. I was like, I'll take that.
Wow. And they can be hard. They can be
They
hard, but
can.
they are some good critics, and they're
They are.
fun as well.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
and I can't imagine the excitement in the school and the support. I know the book came out, we were not in school,
Hmm.
so to speak, but because the author and the illustrator are in the same building, whenever the children get back, I mean, it's going to be very interesting. And I know you weren't there actually in the spring as well, anyway, because you had another assignment, you were working on something different. But
Correct.
talk to us just for a minute about the process of becoming an author and the support that you've received at this point.
Oh man, the support was beautiful. The people here in Spartanburg really, it really was heartfelt of how many people supported me in getting the book. I had so many people sending me pictures. I got it. Just a text message after text message, kind of proving that, sending photos of the book, showing me where they had ordered it. Uh, I really didn't expect that many people to just go out and start getting it, and people reading it to their children. Pretty much everybody that I knew within the school supported that book. So it really made me feel good. How did I get started with writing? I've been writing for a while. I wrote a novel. It's not published, but it's called The Poster That Wasn't. That was the first time I wrote, and I had a professor that I wanted to see just to check and see if what I was doing was okay. And I said, well, hey, I wrote this and I'm thinking about, getting it published. And he read it and he's like, you absolutely should get it published. So when he gave me that confirmation, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I sat on that book for years and still sitting on it because it's just a Word document now. You know, no one can read it. But writing the children's books with pictures and everything, I was like, man, this would be great if I can just get a start right here and see what kind of response that I can get from this. So with the children's book, I think it, you know, I sat down and you know this, I kept revising and editing and revising and editing. I'm sure I wore you out with that, but I sat down and I think I wrote it in maybe 45 minutes, but you know, the process of me just revising and editing, I just wanted it to be perfect, and I just kept thinking about what would kids like, how can I get them to be engaged in this book and also teach a lesson at the same time. Everything that I did was intentional. The rhyming, the idioms, all of that was intentional that I wanted to put in there, among other things, you know, with metaphors and personification. I wanted to put all of those things in a book so that it could be used in a classroom. And maybe one day this book can be a great mentor text in many classrooms somewhere. So, I mean, right now it's where it is, but hopefully there will be teachers in the future that could use it for that purpose.
Definitely. I definitely see that. And just so our listeners know, there are already discussion questions in the back that facilitate a great conversation with between the teachers and the students, as well as parents at home with children. And then there's the glossary, because we can't just assume that the children know these words. And so it is a great teaching book. And you can tell
Yes.
sometimes when books are written for children by educators, because, you know, they do things deliberately and for a reason, but to aid the teacher in delivering the story and then quizzing the
Yeah.
children to make sure that they understood it. So I like that component of it.
Yeah, I wanted to put tier 2 words in there, and I made sure that the tier 2 words that I put, they would have to look in the glossary. You know, for an example, the word rye. You won't hear that used in vocabulary on a day to day, but a kid may see that and be intrigued by it and figure out what it means, and there you go. They got new vocabulary.
Exactly, exactly. And I think, you know, as an educator, it's difficult to get everything in the curriculum because we have so many demands, and sometimes, you know, the testing it unfortunately drives what we're able to teach. And I know there was a
Hmm.
huge movement maybe in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s where character ed was actually taught. And now there is just not enough time in the academic schedule to teach character ed. But as you're teaching children to read, if you can find books like Honest Sincere that teach good character traits. And what's interesting too is just how much this child's conscience comes into play, because, you know, we all are born with a sense of right or wrong. And then we're taught, and our parents are, you know, our best teachers teaching us, you know, what to do and what not to do. But this child was physically sick when he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. And it's amazing probably how many elementary children can even relate to this, because they know when you don't do right, you know, it just doesn't feel right. And so the
That's
way
right.
the child in the story responds and handles things, you know, it's just a good read all around. And I think you were going to say
Thing.
something, and I didn't mean to interrupt you or just keep
Well,
talking.
no, 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 no. I mean, you said it perfect. You know, just his conscience does bother him, and I think we can all relate to sincere and say that I've been there before. I've been sincere before where something bothered me, where I couldn't be 100% myself, and I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
have that fun that I wanted to have, or I couldn't just be myself, or there was an out of body experience that wanted to lead me in another direction so that I can find myself and be who I want to be. Whether the consequences would be bad, I would still want to find that me.
Exactly. Well, you did a great job with the book. Like I said, I can't wait to see and read the next one about this little girl and what the story is that goes along with that. I can't wait to see what Kendra does with the illustrations. And what I would like to see is a coloring book where children can actually color these beautiful illustrations, because I think they would enjoy that so much. I would enjoy trying to make mine look just as good as the illustrators, but they
No,
may
that's
decide,
nice.
yeah,
I agree
well,
with that. That's a good idea.
let's work on that. I think that will be
Okay.
great. We can make it a coloring activity book
Okay.
as
Let's
well.
do it. Let's do it.
All right. I'm not seeing any questions in the feed for us at this time, but do you have any closing comments, and do you want to tell our audience how to contact you if they want to get books, if they want a signing or want you to come visit? What should they do?
On Instagram, the right path 20. Um, really, what I want people to know and understand is that I don't look at myself as an author, and a lot of people would say, "Well, you are an author." Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing my best to like put a story out that I think kids would want to hear, and
Mm-hmm.
I gain these stories through life experience, and then I put them down on paper and I try to make them work. I have many stories that I love to share, and hopefully I can get those out with a lot of support. I know that it can happen. So again, there's a shortage of Black authors. That's one of the things that inspired me. I was sitting in a room while I was taking my courses for my master's, and one of my professors, Dr. Truman, she said, "Hey, there's a shortage of African American black authors. You should probably think about something like that." So that was a big inspiration for me too, just to be able to get us out there and do more. I read a lot of Jason Reynolds books, and I would love to be able to just write a novel that can even come somewhat similar to what he's been doing, and so that it could get into our classrooms, because our kids have to be able to find themselves within a story for them to be engaged.
Exactly. Exactly, exactly. And when children aren't in love with reading, I do believe the remedy is they just have not found the right story, because that's the way it was for me. I wanted to read in the summertime. I always loved books, but I just had not found the right books. And so when I found characters who resembled me, who reminded me of me, or that I had something in common with, that's when that light bulb turned on. And as an English teacher for
Absolutely.
years, that was the most fascinating thing about being in the classroom. And I would tell my students and the parents at the beginning of the year, your child may not like writing now or reading now, but my goal by the end of the year, every single one of them. And it was interesting because the year would start off with students, I would have to fight them to just read for 10 minutes straight. They would feel like it was torture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they wanted to go to the nurse. They wanted to go to the bathroom. But by the end of the year, why can't we read longer? It just doesn't make sense. Why do we have to do anything else? And so you see that pendulum
Mm-hmm.
start to swing and shift, and it feels so good. And so you can't even pull the books out of their hands. That should be the goal. That's the goal, I hope, of every teacher, every parent, because it's possible. Students just have to have the right books. And so if they're not out there, if we know something that's missing, it's on us. We need to tell the story. We need to write it. And so that's why I know I have all of these children's books on the shelf right now. And when I go to vendor fairs, we were at a camp a few weeks ago, and there were intermediate elementary students, third, fourth, fifth grade, who had started reading chapter books, and we didn't have any chapter books. And so I've gone to several places, and that has been a complaint by the children. So I am going to put some chapter books on the shelf. I have talked to one other author who is working on hers. And so that's just our goal, because we want to keep them reading, and we want them to be challenged. If they have outgrown picture books, then we need something else for them to read. And so I look forward to that, and challenge anybody listening
Absolutely.
to do that as well.
Sounds good. That's perfect.
All right. Any other comments? And because we'll close out if not.
I think that's about it. You guys go out, buy the book, read it. If you are a teacher, please go out, get the book. It is a great book to start the year with, starting with Character Ed. So, hey, good luck.
It
Let's
is.
have a great year.
Awesome. He is not
Thank
over
you.
promising. It is a great book, honest, sincere. It is available on hadassahscrownpublishing.com, amazon.com. And so if you want to just inbox either one of us, we can make sure you get a copy. If you want it signed by the author, Right Path 20 at Right Path 20, and he can get that to you. So thank you all for joining in. Thank you, Mr. Cheek. It's been a pleasure working with you, and I look forward to working with you again. Have a great night.
Sounds good. You too. Take care.
Thank you. Okay, you do the same.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you all again for joining in. I greatly appreciate you.